again to my extremely new channel. This is just my second video, and this is all about how to prepare and also what to expect, what happens in a session. So I am going to do my utmost best to give you all that information and put it across in a way that you're going to understand exactly what happens. So basically, it's how long it takes about 4 hours in total. That's the time I block off for myself. And the first hour is spent learning all about you, just about your life from the beginning, and we go through everything, anything that you want to discuss, we can just talk about that. And I just need to find out more about you, about your childhood, any traumas that you've been through, etc., etc. Then you're going to have about 2 to 2.5 hours, very, very maximum, in the hypnosis thing, and then we spend about half an hour maximum chatting about stuff at the end. So these sessions I can do in person, or I can do them online. To be honest, I find them online seems to actually go even better, because the best thing about you doing it at home is the fact that you are in your own place, so you're a lot more relaxed than what you are if you've got to then travel to me. You've had to make that journey. It takes a while for you to settle into my surroundings, and it's very exhausting actually doing one of these sessions. So by the time you're finished, I just don't think it's right for people to be then driving. It's fine if you've got someone else that can come and collect you and stuff, and that's fine. So I've got a few little notes jotted down here. So basically it's like a guided meditation that's going to take you into that beautiful theta state, which is the brainwave state just before you fall asleep. So you're not asleep, because obviously you know you're asleep and I can't communicate with you, you can't communicate with me. And it's that point of time just before you fall asleep, and when you're drifting off somewhere and you can almost be in that sort of dreamlike state. That's where we're taking you. So it's completely normal, it's completely natural. I mean, you do that every single night when you go to sleep. I can't take any form of control of your mind. So that's the mistake people make with hypnosis, is that the hypnotherapist can completely take control of my mind. You are consciously there the whole time. Not everyone remembers their session, and it's always recorded. We record the whole thing and that gets sent out to you. So the best way for preparing is that I will send you a consultation form. So I'll just show you. It looks like this. I know that's backwards, but that is going to go through all your personal details. If you're doing it online, you do have an emergency contact number and name, and just in case you fell asleep and went into a really deep state, or I was concerned for your well-being, I'd have a contact number to contact to come and check that you're okay. The consultation form is quite in-depth. It will go in and it's going to ask you so many questions, like about just different experiences you've had. Like, for example, have you had any experience of the following, like suppression in relationships, or lack of connection with your mother, or even like shaming by someone, being controlled by someone, being bullied by someone? Ever made to feel that you're overweight? Have you gone through grief, heartbreak? Have you got any pain or discomfort in the body? Just asking all sorts of questions, and it's just literally you're just ticking boxes, and then I've left a bit where you can go and expand on that if need be. But all I can say is the more information you can give me on this consultation form, I honestly find that those sessions are the best, because when I get that consultation form back in, I will go through that and I will go through the whole list of stuff, and that gives me a better idea of how best to work out what energy center of yours is impacted, and that's what I'm going to go on and start explaining later on in this video. So all I can say is please, please, please give as much detail as possible when you're sending that back to me. I'll ask about things like phobias, like important people in your life and their relationship to you, about hospital visits, and that's pretty much it there. And then the other thing is, if you're doing it online, the only way that I will do it with you, and I've actually forgotten to take my headphones in here. I'm just going to pause this recording. I'm going to go and grab my headphones to show you what I use in a session. Sorry about that, it's me back. Right, these are the ones I use. I don't have them plugged in, but I'll just show you. So these are actually gaming headphones. They're noise cancelling ones. They've got a mic at the front that you can position in front of your mouth. So I'll just take these off now. You're best using ones like that. I won't do it if you've got AirPods, because they could fall out. Wireless ones are a big no-no, because we want such a solid and stable connection while we're doing the session. And I want to be able to hear you clearly, and you want to be able to hear me clearly. Otherwise, it really doesn't make the best of sessions if we can't hear each other clearly, because it's all about communication. So that's one thing I'll point out. You have to have plugged in noise cancelling headphones with a mic in front of you. That is so important. Prior to the session, I always say to people, meditate. And the best thing you can do is do meditations, and even doing visualized meditations is probably the best thing. A lot of people say that they can't visualize. I'm like, everyone can visualize. There's very, very few people out there that can. So the best thing to do is to go and try it. A really good way of doing it is even, imagine you going out to your vehicle, and most people own a car. So you walking out your door, you unlock the car, whether it's with the little key thing or on the lock. You step into your car, and you also look at the dashboard. You have a look around your car. Most people know what they've got lying around. And just do it that way. That's one thing. Or the other one, which is a good one, is to visualize yourself at your front door. So if you were going up to your front door, again, everyone knows what their front door looks like, and opening the door, unlocking it, opening the door, walking in, whatever the first room is that you get into. But a good room is the kitchen, because most people know their kitchen extremely well. And go and have a little wander around your kitchen, and this is all with your eyes closed like this, and start getting used to using your third eye, because that's essentially the part that you're going to be using. You're not seeing through your own eyes, you're seeing through the imagination. Go and open the fridge, and an absolutely brilliant one to do is open the fridge and pretend there's like a lemon in there. Take that lemon out, and you can see it's yellow. Feel the lemon. Take the lemon over to a worktop, take out a chopping board, take out a knife, and slice through the lemon. And then you can start getting, this, what does it smell like? And then you can even imagine, what does it taste like? And you'll probably find that your taste buds and your mouth will start watering, because it'll bring you back into that memory of what it's like to take a bite out of a lemon. And that's a really, really good one to do. So just any other sort of visualization techniques, because it's going to be the right hand side of the brain that we're using, not the left hand side. The left hand side is the very analytical, critical side. A lot of men use that for, that love analysing everything, and they find it harder usually to visualise. And I find people, artists, creative people, can just slip right into that right hand side of their brain because they use their imagination a lot for creating things. So that's the main thing. I've mentioned the consultation form. So what I will go through is what happens in the first session. So I'll have your paperwork and I will have marked down on, we've got these amazing sheets with basically the whole chakra system in it. So from the information you've given me, I will probably get a really good idea of what one of your energy centers, or how, if all of them could possibly be, depending on what it says in your form, are affected the most. So I'll be doing that. Then you're gonna come in, we will chat, or online, obviously we'll be chatting over this way. And then we chat for that hour, find out more about you. There might be things that have come up that you've completely forgotten about, and you're like, oh, I remember that. And, this could be the first time you've ever talked about something that's happened in your life that you've not shared with anyone, because one, you've felt so ashamed of it, and especially I find people with sexual abuse, they have never discussed it with anyone. It's happened to them as a child, and they've kept that inside of them for such a long time. So I always expect tears, and I think that's the best thing, if you can just be open and honest, because I have no judgment. I have heard so many horrific stories, and I have so much compassion for people, and I want people to know that when you speak to me, there is no judgment there, and you can offload, and it is 100% confidential. Your information will not be passed out to anyone. So just be honest and start this soul healing at the beginning of the chat. Just allow everything to start coming out, because that's what it's all about. It's all about healing at the end of the day. So then we take a little bit of a break, off to the bathroom if you need a drink or anything. I would also suggest don't drink like tea and coffee. You don't want any stimulants before the session, because you're wanting to be relaxed. So what happens is we spend the first little while, we'll relax the body and we will relax the mind, and I will be bringing you through in a beautiful guided hypnotic state. We will be calling in all the archangels. We've got Michael, Kwan, Raphael, Uriel, Azrael, and Gabriel. They're the main ones that I use, and we will be pulling them in for total and utter protection. I usually ask for your spirit guides and any helpers on the other side to come in and assist and help, because quite often I find in sessions there's passed over relatives can just make an appearance and come in, and they are all there rooting you on to say, oh, they're so happy that you're doing this work, because you are going for that deep soul healing journey. And that is honestly what they are just like. Yes, they're so happy that you're actually taking on doing this for yourself, because it is one of the most powerful healings that you can ever do. That's, well, in my opinion, because I have tried so many types of different therapies, but because you are interacting and you are releasing and you're letting go and you are connecting on such a deep soul level, it is truly remarkable. So once we've relaxed the body, we've relaxed the mind, I will be taking you off to this beautiful garden. And you can see I've got my gorgeous enchanted garden behind me. And that's where you'll be taken off. And then you will go off and you're going to go and scan your body. We will have run the white light down you, which is the highest frequency light of all. And it's run all the way down your body. And if there's anything there that's going to come up, it might come up at that part. If not, we will take you off and you will scan your body and you're going to connect. And is there any areas of density, any anger, any anxiety? Is there any pain? Stuff like that comes up. So when we start at the head, work our way down, and whatever comes up for you, then we'll start tapping into that energy and finding out more about what it is. So that's going to lead me on to my next part of, sorry, I'm just looking at my notes here. So this is where we're going to talk about chakras, and also how can these energies, entities, whatever you want to call them, at the end of the day, it is essentially energy. And they're not physically there. It is energy that's attached into your body, and this is why it is, you're healing through, it is energy healing in some sort of way, shape or form. So I will start off explaining what your chakra system is. Some people watching this will be completely aware of that. Some others aren't. So basically, you've got a set of chakras that run up from, you've got your root chakra at the bottom, at the base of your spine, which is a red colour. That is your safety, that is your security, that is your grounding to the earth. So, for example, if you felt so unsafe and so in fear, something's happened in your life, like say you're a child and you've come from a really abusive family, like you got a violent father and you felt so unsafe, or even any period in your life where you feared for your safety, that chakra is going to probably be very, very impacted. So I'll move up the chakras first, then you go into the sacral. So that is your sensuality, your joy, your creativity. So anyone who's had any sexual abuse or just the pure and utter joy taken out of their life, that's the one that can get affected. You've then got your beautiful yellow one, the solar plexus, which is just here, just at the top of the ribs under your heart. That's that yellow one, which is I call that your self-esteem. It's almost like another joy center. So that's lack of confidence, self-esteem, worry, all those sorts of things. If you've got all that going on in your life, then there's probably something affecting that area. If you've gone through massive amount of grief, any heartbreak, or just an awful sort of loving connection with your parents, quite often that beautiful green heart-centered area is going to be affected. That's why I like wearing my green t-shirt, because that is the colour for the heart. Then we move up into the throat, which is the blue one, and that's all about let me give you some examples. So if you've been suppressed from speaking, you're always told to be quiet, or the other way around is that often if people, and we all know someone, if they drink alcohol, they are just vile. There's just so much vileness comes out, and it's like it's almost not them. If you've got any throat issues, any thyroid problems, things like that, that indicates that you've got something going on in this area, and that's a really common one as well. I mean, they're all common, but the throat especially. Now we're moving up into the third eye, which is the purple one, which is your spiritual wisdom. That's your third eye. That's where you get the visualizations. That's where you just get, it's your spiritual wisdom that really is in that place there. And then up here in your crown, which is the bit that connects you back into source energy, and if the crown's affected, that's when, you know, you've got sort of fuzzy thinking, you feel like pain around your head, stuff like that. So that's essentially going through your chakras. You've also got your soul star chakra, which sits above the head, and you've also got your earth star, which is beneath your feet. You also have chakras in your palms and also in your feet, in the soles of your feet. So rest be assured, we clear out all of them, and we go for all of them to make sure everything's clear. Not everyone can tap into, you know, when I ask what colour is it, has it got anything to say, blah, 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 blah. They don't always connect in, but it doesn't matter about that. If you're not connected in massively, I will be, and I will be removing everything. And we use Archangel Michael. He's the main one. He is amazing. And there's nothing he can't deal with. So we will lift them up and out. So, and I talk about them. So let's get on to what them are. So we have got, we're living here on the 3D Earth. Now there's a spiritual realm out there, there's different dimensions. So these, let's call them energies, or you can call it entities, it depends what you're comfortable with. We have anything from earthbound spirits, and I think in my first video I had gave a little indication of what happens with them. Earthbound spirits, we've got dark spirits, which are earthbound spirits, but they've gone real dark. And we've got demonic spirits as well. And I always say to people, do you know when everyone's like, what is that little devil in me? And you're like, well, maybe there is a little devil in you, you know, that makes you do these things that you're not that proud of. You know, maybe when you drink alcohol, it's like you go off and do things that you would never do. Is that little devil in you? And it's not anything to be scared of, because I'm not scared of them. And it's like, I actually feel sorry for these little demons, which I'm going to start discussing in a minute. Artificial intelligence is another one that is starting to become a huge problem. And we know now in the earth, everything is AI. Now, this stuff can come in through your technology, in through like people who are gaming, you know, people have got their sons gaming all the time. This artificial intelligence just literally seeps through and can really come in and start messing with your thoughts, with your mind, everything. It's quite incredible what some of the practitioners have come across during sessions with the AI, and they're, you know, again, they're removed, they're taken back to their own universe. So start with the earthbounds. Actually, I'll just hold that thought there. Hold thought there. What we're going to do, I'm going to talk about the auric field around your body. So you have an auric field around your body. So when we're born, that should be completely there, intact. And as we go through life, we will experience traumas. And I'd say the majority of people, honestly, have experienced traumas. If you haven't, then lucky you, because everyone I know has experienced some form of trauma throughout their life. And I always say, what can be traumatic for you may not be traumatic for someone else, but your trauma is your trauma, no matter how big or how small it is. So what happens is that auric field starts to almost, it's like fracture. So how the earthbound spirits, or any of these spirits attach, because they're in a different dimension, we can't see them. Just because we cannot see something, it doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And I always say that to people, because people always go, well, prove it. And my answer to them is, well, have you ever been in love? And they'll go, yeah. And I'll go, well, prove it. Prove it to me. And they're like, well, I can't. I just know. So that's the same as these things. Sometimes we just know. We just know something's not right in our body, something's getting affected, and it's not us. You know, when people can just all of a sudden change and go, that was not them, you know, and it's these little either earthbounds or little demons that are causing all this havoc within the humans. You know, and that's essentially what's going on. I don't want to freak people out about it, but it's just like I always just say, look, open up your mind to go, what is going on? Because there's stuff out there that we do not know about. They didn't teach us this at school. This was taught a long, long time ago. All these things, you know, you go back into ancient history, they're always talking about angels and demons and stuff like that. And then they make out this is that, oh, that's all just like, you know, it's all fantasy and whatnot. Well, you know, unfortunately, it's not. So the way I see it is my job, my purpose to help rid people of these things, which they're not scary, not when you start understanding what it's all about. So, sorry, I just went off on a tangent. So let's go to the earthbound spirits. I'll give you some examples of issues going on with people and then what we've found. So let's think about this. Just give me 2 seconds. Right, so say someone has got, they just worry all the time. That's therefore worry. Right, so then when I've taken them down, run the white light through, and then they'll feel something, and it's in their light. They can feel it in the top of their tummy. It's like an anxiety of some sort. And then when I've then connected through, we find that is the earthbound spirit of a little child who came out of their body, and they were so confused and so worried, and they didn't know what to do, and they ended up running off. And I mean, and this particular energy I found was back in the 1700s, you know, this poor little girl called Trixie. And then she had been moving around for obviously these hundreds of years. And then she found this particular client when she was a little girl. So as a little girl, she was crying, she was scared, there was issues going on with her parents, and she was crying. And then this little girl, Trixie, this little spirit, saw this human little child and is like, oh my God, they go off and they just then can like attach and they get in through that fracture in your auric field. And then that's it, boom, into that solar plexus. So when I get to speak to these lost souls, I mean, they really are, they're just beautiful little lost souls. And, you know, I'll ask, what issues are you causing? It's like, worry, and then causing like, you know, physical issues like stomach issues in the person. So when I've explained to the soul what's going on, and I get the angels to gather around, there's so much love and so much compassion for these little earthbound lost souls. And we take them up and out, and we, with the help of the angels, take them back to God, source, creator, you know, whatever you want to call it, but where we all originate from, and it's taking them back home. So the reason I know that I am 100% meant to be doing this job is in 2018, I used to go and see a lady who would channel information for me every year, and she was helping me along my little spiritual journey. And I just found the letter a year ago. It said in big letters, the compass is set for you to deal with soul retrieval. That is your gift, and that's what your calling is to do. And then I read that again, and I was like, oh my goodness, I am actually doing that. So I am retrieving these beautiful little lost souls and taking them back to home, back to God. So I feel so blessed. I feel so honoured that I am getting to do this work. So when you're having a session, always look at it that you're helping these little lost souls either as well, you know. And it's absolutely astounding the conversations I have with some of the ones I come across, and it really does start putting that jigsaw puzzle together of why you're suffering physical issues, why you're suffering, you know, because what happens, that spirit, when it's come out of the body, time is freeze framed for that. So say that spirit is really, really angry, like for example, someone's been murdered, it will stay in that angry mode. And it's like, when that enters, it might find you when you're very angry, boom, it's in there. And then you notice that you're flaring up for no reason, you're just angrier and angrier, and you've maybe come across people who, when they never used to be angry, why are they so angry? This is really weird. So, and you find out that that is like an energetic attachment. So it's almost like an energy overlay that melds in with your physicality. And also, you know, they can send these sort of thoughts, you're getting these anger thoughts, or you know, all of a sudden, you know, people might out of nowhere want to commit suicide. And then we discover it's like you've got a lost soul who has committed suicide, and they haven't crossed over to the light. So that's just a few examples. But without going into it too much further, I'm going to move on to the demons. And I laugh when I say that, because honestly, they do not frighten me at all. These little demonic entities have never had a human body. They come from that lower fourth density, and their job is to literally suck the living daylights out of us, to stop us accessing our full column of light, to fulfill our full spiritual purpose and role. And I find the star seeds, the light workers, the ones that are meant to be doing all this healing work, can be the ones that are the most targeted. And you get some, you know, quite big beasts in them. It's quite astounding what you come over. But we find out what energy center they're attached to. Or are they working in a team together? We ask them, you know, who sent them, and we find out that they've got their master, and they're essentially a slave, and they're stuck inside this human body, causing all sorts of issues, from dark thoughts to pain, to being really aggressive towards people. So once we have located them, had a bit of a conversation, finding they're really easy, just to a lot easier to remove now, because I think the word's out in the street that there's somewhere much nicer to go to. You don't have to go back to your hideous master. You can go back to source or God, whatever you want to call it. So we will run the light through them and remind them of where they originated from. And so much of the time, they are so sorry. They are so sorry for what they have done. And, you know, and once this has been moved out of you, it is the most incredible thing. So when we've removed these energies, entities, whatever you want to call it, we then will ask you, because we can't leave a hole or a void there, we will ask you, or I will ask you, I should say, I keep talking to we. That's probably my spirit guides will say it's we. But I'm working with the angels, so yeah, we will ask, what colour of light would you like to flood into that area? And I've got a set of digitally recorded tuning forks, which are set for all the different energy centers and different colours. So we will flood that beautiful, intelligent light through that area, and it's going to allow every single cell to know that that dark energy, or it doesn't even have to be a dark energy, but that energy has now gone, and this healing is going to be safe, and all those cells can come back online, and it's safe to heal, and it'll go back to the way it should be, and it's always meant to be, and you will feel amazing, like power, just vibrations and energy coming rushing through into that area like you've never felt before. So that is one of the most amazing parts of it. So once we have removed everything, we will then move on to our chakra rebuild. Now, what we'll be doing is starting at the root, and that is your grounding to the earth. That is your safety, your stability, your security. So you'll be, a rope of light will be coming out of your root, and you will be connecting that into Mother Gaia, into her energy, and you will run that high vibrational energy back up into your root, clearing and cleaning any remaining density that should remain in that area. And then we move it all the way up through your sacral, your solar plexus, your heart, your throat, your third eye, and your crown, all the way up, shooting a rope out, connecting you back into source, pulling that beautiful source energy down, cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing, cleansing and clearing, all the way back down, covering your soul star chakra, your palms, and your earth star chakra, and your chakras in your feet. So your whole body is so cleansed and so clear and vibrating so high. And that is just one of the most wonderful things that you'll ever experience. It's such a thorough clean out and gut out, I say, and it's unlike any other therapy that I've ever come across. So when we've then done that, you will then choose, we'll make sure all fractures are filled in and your auric and do an auric resale. But we'll make sure AI is closed, any portals, any toxic cords, will close down any dark portals. And we will also check for things like black magic, hexes, curses, any witchcraft that's been sent your way, and make sure that you are so cleansed and so clear before we completely reseal the aura. And then you'll get an additional band of light of your choice of colour around that aura, which is going to keep you so protected after the session. So that usually is the first session. I find I've only with people who've only with my other practitioners who've already had sessions that I can move through it quickly because they're already cleared out. But what we do is definitely, that is enough for your body to take in that one session, and it will take that full 2 to 2.5 hours to do that. So we will then finish up, and then you will be given your recording, and then I like you to wait a week to 2 weeks and allow all of that energy to reintegrate with your body. And then you would then have your second session booked. And then that is when we would do a quick, let's check that there's no more energies that are needing released, because it's not always possible to remove everything at once. There might be some that you still need to hang on to, whether it's for a learning aspect for your soul, or you're just not ready to let go of that. Because sometimes if we took everything away, that person is not going to know like who they are, because they've been used to living with these, some of these energies have been with them since birth. So that's what we do. Quick clear, just check everything's okay. Check that your chakras are all spinning the right way, blah 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 blah. And then that is when we move into the past life regression. So because you're clear and clean, you're going to go and slip into that past regression so much more easily, and you know that you are going to get your past life regression. It's not going to be one of these energies coming through and chatting and giving their account of their life. So you'll go through your past life regression. Depending how much time we've got, you might end up, depends how long a life takes. Some are done really quickly, so you might do 2 or 3 lives, just depends. You will be given exactly what it is that you need, that information that you require on that day. And then once we've done that, that is when we will go into, and it'll be on your form, the higher self questions. So let's go into higher self. So your higher self is another multi-dimensional part of you which is existing in a higher dimension. Therefore, that part of you has way more knowledge and wisdom than what you have here in your life and your human body and your human mind. And that is what you are accessing. And that part knows all about you. You can ask whatever questions you ask. Mainly people ask, what's my purpose? Why did I have to experience such and such an experience? Who is that in my life? We're going to check if you've got any karma that you still need to deal with in this life. Is there any people in that life that you're playing parts with in this life? Some people want to know where exactly they originated from. Whether they're from a different star system, all sorts of information. You can really ask whatever you want. Any health questions, because we'll get, we will ask the higher self to do a nice scan through the body and just check everything's working. Is there anything that you need to release and let go of? Is there anything that needs to be released and let go of today? How's the best way to do that? And the higher self is so amazing. It's so loving, and it knows what is best for you. So I love doing the higher self questions because it's so nice when people connect with their higher self and they get to listen back to the session, and it all just makes so much sense. So that's essentially the second session. And again, all of it gets recorded, and I will send you out a recording that same day. I will also speak about if there's any health things you want to know about. I'll give you advice on, maybe what crystals that you should be using, what sort of colours you should be surrounding yourself with, and reminding you it's all about, you finding out who and what you are, about really healing yourself. Because when you heal yourself, believe it or not, that literally heals down that ancestry line, and you're the one that then puts a stop to all this trauma, all this pain that gets passed down in a cellular memory throughout it. So you're going to be healing your children, you're going to be healing the rest of your family from doing this, and you're also going to be healing these lost souls who need help and taken back home. I just see it as like we are all here on our spiritual journey, walking each other back home. And that's why I feel so compassionate and compelled to do this work. And I know it's not for everyone, but I'm guessing if you've got to the end of this video, you've either booked a session or you're thinking about booking a session. And I really hope this has explained it in the best detail that I can. And all I can say is it's one of the best things I have personally ever done. And I know it's not always the easiest thing to do, but when you heal your soul, honestly, your life transforms in so many ways. And you can start, the other thing I should mention, it's not a magic wand where you just, I'll do a session and then you just go back to your old way of living. You've got to start really looking at yourself and getting your emotions in check and making sure that you're not getting angry and you're not getting jealous. It's about you stepping out of those lower vibrational thoughts and feelings, and you need to work out, well, why am I still feeling that or doing that, or whatever. It's about you moving forward and really stepping into your heart, living life through your heart. And you will, but it's a journey and you have to work on yourself with it all. So I think that's all I'm going to say on this. So I really hope this makes sense, and please don't hesitate to get in touch with me if you want to discuss any of this further. And if you want to book a session, there'll be links in the description box below. But thank you so much for watching and taking the time to listen to what I've had to say. And I really wish everyone all the best on their spiritual journeys, because it's exciting times ahead of us.